Like if you say, all right, we're going to take Steph Curry up there and put Dame Lillard.
There it is.
Then I'll be like, okay, I can see they get the same results probably.
Yeah.
God damn, nigga.
Who the hell does Jeff Teague think he is? Better yet, who the hell does Monta Ellis think he is? Monta says if you swapped him with Steph Curry on those Warrior teams, he'd have the same championships. Then Jeff Teague comes along and says Damian Lillard would have gotten the same results if he played on those Warriors teams. The irony with the way people talk about Dame is that he came into the league and had LaMarcus Aldridge, Wes Matthews, and Nicholas Batum. He inherited a much better situation than Steph did, yet somehow Steph was the one that was fortunate. Really?
You see how this looks, right?
If we're just handing out championships in hypothetical land, then let me play that game too. If this happened, if that happened.
It just happened!
Hell, if Ruby Rose would just slide into my DMs. Athletes have some of the biggest egos on the planet. There's always a would've, could've, should've. I would've won if I had his teammates. I would've won if I had his coach. I would've won if I played in his era. It's always somebody else's fault. Meanwhile, I look at my own YouTube channel and I don't get to do that. If a video flops, I can't blame the algorithm forever. I can't blame the audience. I can't blame the system. I have to look in the mirror and ask myself a simple question. What could I have done better? Maybe I need better titles. Maybe I need better thumbnails. Maybe I need better editing. Maybe I need to be more entertaining. The point is, I hold myself accountable. I have to do better.
You've got to do better, Senator. You've got to step up.
But when it comes to Steph Curry, accountability seems to disappear. Instead, everybody wants to play the hypothetical game. And somehow, Steph is always the one getting downgraded by hypotheticals. Monta could have done it. Dame could have done it. Anybody could have done it. Funny how that works. Because when people talk about LeBron James, hypotheticals always make him look better. LeBron is undefeated in hypothetical situations.
What's your most unpopular opinion?
I think that if LeBron came before Jordan, there wouldn't even be an argument about who's better.
What if J.R. Smith knew the score? What if Kyrie and K-Love stayed healthy? What if KD never joined Golden State? What if this happened? What if that happened?
Every hypothetical adds to LeBron's legacy. But when it comes to Steph, the hypotheticals are always used to take something away. So today, we're flipping the script. Let's play the what-if game with Steph Curry. What if the NBA fully embraced him as the face of the league instead of spending a decade protecting LeBron's throne? What if those ankle injuries never happened? What if he won Finals MVP in 2015? What if he never got hurt during the 2016 playoffs? What if Kevin Durant never joined? What if Kevin Durant never left? What if Klay Thompson never tore his ACL and then his Achilles? What if Steph never broke his hand in 2020? What if Draymond Green became a reliable shooter? How many championships would Steph have if every break went his way? How many MVPs? How many Finals MVPs? And how different would the GOAT conversation look today?
I don't know.
Because if Monta Ellis and Jeff Teague want to live in alternate universes, then let's go all the way. By the end of this video, we might discover that Steph Curry wasn't the luckiest superstar of his era. He might have been one of the unluckiest.
Unlucky.
When people discuss Steph Curry's legacy, they usually focus on what happened: the 4 championships, the 2 MVPs, the unanimous MVP season, the revolution of the three-point shot.
For myself, and I saw everyone out here oohing and on with him. He's already got some.
What often gets overlooked is how many pivotal moments could have dramatically altered his career. It's easy to forget now, but there was a time when Curry was viewed as injury-prone. Multiple severe ankle sprains, 2 ankle surgeries, missed 56 games during the 2011-12 season. There were legitimate questions about whether Golden State could build around him long-term. So what happens if those injuries never occur? Does Curry become an all-star earlier? Does he make All-NBA sooner? Does he add more All-NBA selections to his resume? Could he have captured another MVP before his prime officially arrived? The ankle injuries delayed his ascent. Without them, Curry may have entered the superstar conversation years earlier than he did.
It's like when I'm right, I'm right. And when I'm wrong, I could have been right. And I'm still right because I could have been wrong.
That makes sense.
For years, one of the loudest criticisms of Curry's career was simple: no Finals MVP. That argument disappears immediately if he wins in 2015. The championship doesn't change, the Warriors still win, but public perception changes dramatically. Instead of spending years defending Curry against that criticism, the debate never exists in the first place. His all-time ranking likely rises sooner, and many of the conversations that follow him throughout the late 2010s disappear before they even began. What if Steph never gets hurt in 2016? This may be the biggest what if of all. The Warriors finished 73-9, the greatest regular season in NBA history. Then Curry suffers knee and ankle issues during the playoffs. But what if? Do the Warriors finish off Cleveland? Does 73-9 become universally recognized as the greatest season ever? Does LeBron lose the defining achievement of his career? Curry would have had back-to-back championships, back-to-back MVPs, back-to-back finals MVPs, ownership of the greatest season ever completed with a championship. And perhaps most importantly, Durant may never feel the need to leave Oklahoma City. Instead of the KD-era Warriors, we may have seen Curry continue building a dynasty entirely on his own core. And let's not forget about LeBron. If LeBron never leaves Cleveland in 2010, the Cavaliers likely remain too competitive to consistently land top lottery picks. No lottery picks means no Kyrie Irving. No Kyrie Irving means no 2016 championship for LeBron.
It does not do to dwell on dreams, Harry.
It's impossible to know exactly how events unfold, but it raises an interesting question. Does Cleveland ever become that team that ultimately stops Golden State? But keep in mind, this is what if that favors Steph, right? So let's keep it going. What if Klay never tore his ACL and Steph didn't break his wrist in 2020? The Warriors dynasty effectively paused after the 2019 finals. Golden State lost multiple prime years from its championship core. So what happens if those injuries never occur? Do the Warriors return to the finals in 2020? Do they contend again in 2021? Does Curry get another MVP? Because in 2021, he finished third in MVP. Maybe, just maybe, if the Warriors had one of the top 4 seeds, he probably would have won MVP. And that would have been possible with Klay Thompson on the team. Do they capture another championship before even winning again in 2022? These questions become even more interesting when discussing the 2020 Lakers. Many people argue the Los Angeles Lakers would have repeated in 2021 if they were healthy. Perhaps. But it's also worth asking whether that Lakers team ever becomes the league's dominant force if Golden State's championship core remains intact and healthy throughout those seasons. The Warriors made 5 consecutive finals from 15 to 19. Removing the injuries from Curry and Thompson changes the competitive landscape of the entire league. So are we sure the Lakers would have even won in 2020 if they had to go through the Warriors? Who knows? Most of Curry's what-ifs involve injuries or championships. This one involves skill development. Imagine if Draymond Green shot 37 to 38% from 3 every season instead of spending most of his career around league average or below. Suddenly, teams can't leave him open. The Curry-Draymond pick and roll becomes nearly impossible to defend. Golden State gains elite spacing every year. Defenses can't park a center in the paint and ignore Draymond. One of the most effective strategies against post-KD Golden State was loading multiple defenders toward Curry and daring Draymond to shoot. A reliable three-point shooting Draymond completely changes that equation. The Warriors' offense would have been unstoppable. Perhaps my favorite what if. What if he left? Imagine Durant leaves in 2019, Klay is injured, and Curry decides, you know what? The championship window is closing. What if he asks for a trade? Imagine Curry joining Giannis in Milwaukee, or joining Tatum and Jaylen Brown in Boston. Imagine him spending the later stages of his career, moving from contender to contender in pursuit of championships, like you know who. How would people react? Would he be praised for maximizing his opportunities, or would he be criticized for ring chasing? I think a lot of people who defend player movement would suddenly use it against Curry. Like, just imagine Steph going and hopping on teams, building super teams like you know who. It's fascinating to think about because Curry never put the basketball world in a position where he had to answer that question. The funny thing about Steph Curry's career is that people often talk about how fortunate he was. They point to the Warriors' talent, the system, the championships, and the timing. But when you examine his career closely, there are just as many moments where things broke against him as there are moments where they broke in his favor. The ankle injuries, the 2006 postseason injuries, the 2019 finals injuries, Klay's ACL and Achilles tears, the lost years between 2020 and 2021. 2021. The reality is that Curry's legacy isn't simply a story about good fortune. It's also a story of opportunities lost to injuries, timing, and circumstances outside his control. The question isn't whether Steph Curry was lucky. The question is how much greater his legacy might be if a few of those breaks had gone the other way. You see how fun it is to play the what-if game?
Now, reality can be whatever I want.
And that's all I got for today. And remember, we're all gonna die at some point.